Why, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Truly Odd podcast, where we bring you the latest in game news and movie news. I am your host, Joe Garcia. Grab your controllers, get your popcorn, and let's dive right on in. Now, before we get started, I want to say thank you for being patient with me in this channel and making sure that we're getting like good video content and stuff like that. So let me know what you guys are thinking about this format. Probably going to try to do some shorts today and see how that goes as well, and maybe grab some clips and do them individually just in case you guys are interested in some of these stories. I'm also trying to do timestamps, so if you're interested in a specific segment, go ahead and scroll through the timestamps of this video and click on the one that you're mostly interested in. But let's go ahead and dive right on to our first story, and we're going to be talking about Madden NFL 26. And the reason I'm jumping back 2 weeks in the news feed is because I missed a lot of in-depth things when it comes to certain aspects of videos and stuff like that. So go ahead and take a look at Madden 26.
What's up, everyone? Kurt Benkert here. A lot of you have been asking what's actually different in Madden NFL 26. Let me walk you through what I learned.
And the reason everyone asks what's different in Madden NFL 26 is because the Madden games are cookie cutter games. If you don't know what a cookie cutter game is, think about, I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory, but a cookie cutter, you take the regular shell and you press it. Madden every year is the same game with either hit stick included or not included, or they have quarterback vision and not quarterback vision. It's just general cookie cutter game. So I'm interested to see what new features they're going to implement for this Madden game.
Orlando in today's gameplay deep dive. Trained on nearly a decade of real NFL data, a new AI-powered machine learning system informs all new coach tendencies, QB signatures, and advanced player traits. With more.
Now, when they say that, I'm wondering if the data that they're collecting are from actual NFL data, like games that have played. Maybe they had the AI watch NFL games for the past 10 years and, introduce what decisions were made by coaches and stuff like that. So I'm very curious what process they had to do for that.
More strategic depth and authentic detail, making every game a distinct and dynamic challenge, true to NFL team identities. Let's take a closer look. The team is reimagining quarterback play with new QB DNA, adding new levels of detail, quality, and variety to the most iconic position in sports. Refreshed passing animations and a variety of all-new signature throwing styles for quarterbacks across the game make each one look, move, and feel more like themselves. Some more detailed signatures are unique to
what they should have been doing from the start.
Throws in the face of pressure by Caleb Williams. Stylized back foot passes for Lamar Jackson and Jaden Daniels.
By the start, I don't mean back in the 90s. That wasn't very possible back then, but 2000s-esque.
Signature scramble locomotion, unique arm slots, and unique footwork fundamentals. And a new set of 50 advanced player traits informed by real on-field player tendency data pushes the fidelity of NFL stars even further.
Okay.
All of it designed to match the real, nuanced movement.
This seems like the same game to me with the little extra highlights so far.
Real NFL coaches bring their strategic minds to gameplay with Coach DNA. New predictive play call AI built on real coaching data straight from NFL sidelines.
Now this is a bit interesting.
Each team's unique identity. Coaching styles like Dan Campbell's fourth down aggression, Kevin O'Connell's creative offensive approach, and more add new layers of strategy to every matchup.
Now, I didn't play 25, so I'm not really sure how in-depth they got with the coaches and stuff like that, but I really like that they're making the coaching aspect a really big part of this game, because that's a very important aspect of the actual NFL. So I'm really enjoying that. He is a part of the team. Maybe he'd not be on the field, but he is the overall strategist. So I'm liking that they're introducing somewhat of a better strategy output and not just cookie cutter as it was. And mind you, I didn't play 25, so who knows? This could be cookie cutter still. You guys are going to have to let me know.
New dynamic coach suggestions provide play recommendations based on what your team's coach would dial up in specific game situations. And new counterintelligence offers smart play calling recommendations against opponent tendencies, making it harder for them to succeed when they keep running the same play over and over again. To authentically reflect unique NFL coaching strategies and
That's funny, because me and my brother used to play, and anytime he would succeed on a play, he would literally call the same play and do it every time. So that's nice, finally.
Play calling tendencies, the team has expanded playbooks with new shifts, multi-motions, and exotic blitz packages, highlighting more of the specific schemes that define a team's identity. With real-time NFL trends and new innovative plays to be added throughout the season. physics-based offensive line block steering, and new stunts and twists add strategic depth to your play calling.
You know what I just realized, and this is why I'm new to OBS? I was supposed to be listening to what you guys are listening to on my headphones. It's playing through my speakers. Let me fix that real quick. See, we all mess up sometimes, and hopefully we can get the hang of this and actually start fixing it. Put these on now. Hopefully the audio didn't mess up for you guys. If it did, my apologies, but it's going to be back to normal for the rest of this segment.
Wear and tear adds strategy to your roster management, and new dynamic subs let you swap out fatigued players for fresh legs without pausing the action. Custom defensive zones unlock the control to strategically adapt coverage in real time, and improved pass coverage logic enhances defender reactions to receiver routes. To accurately represent the elite skill of NFL athletes, the team overhauled player movement across every mode, with the confidence that these superstars will move in Madden 26 like they do on game day.
Okay.
Modernized depth charts introduce more authentic positional roles.
I think that's enough for the most part. Yeah, it seems like the same game. They introduced some new features and stuff. The coaching aspect I really enjoy, but overall, it's the same Madden NFL game, so I probably won't be picking it up again. I'm waiting for them to do something, very different, very intuitive. Me, this isn't the case, but that's not a knock on the game and people that love it. I'm happy people enjoy these games every year. I just get a little bit tired of them. Maybe I have to pick up 2027. Who knows? We'll see. We'll have to end up waiting to see what happens there. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of Madden NFL 26. Moving on to our next news topic of the day. It looks like Helldivers 2 is finally coming to the Xbox. It's going to be really exciting for Xbox fans.
Freedom. What is it worth? For some,
now,
the answer is simple.
The sad part is,
everything.
A lot of the Xbox players are probably already playing this on Steam.
March towards extinguishing our freedom. Now more than ever, we need more Helldivers. We need more recruits.
Hellpod launch initiated.
Request approved. Deploying reinforcements.
Will you make the ultimate sacrifice? Now is the time to join the Helldivers.
So now I'm curious if this is going to be like a Game Pass or if they're going to actually let the players have to buy it for $40, kind of how the PlayStation buyers have to buy it. I don't think it's going to be free to play, but we'll have to end up waiting to see what they end up doing with all these things. Here's an article from Game Informer. All the links are going to be in the description down below, so if you guys are interested in taking a look at these articles, reading, getting more in depth and more details on it, go ahead and do that. But yeah, I think this is the first step towards PlayStation kind of putting their games on Xbox. And the reason for that probably is because Xbox is doing the same thing. Now, PlayStation, of course, is going to be having their exclusives the way that they've been doing it, where they're going to have their exclusive launch, make all the money from their exclusive launch, and then a year, maybe even two later, then put it on PC and Xbox. So they're probably going to end up keeping that format, even though they're going to introduce things to Xbox. And we'll talk more about the Xbox coming to PlayStation, things like that, in a later topic right now. But yeah, Helldivers 2 is coming to Xbox. Are you guys excited? Are you looking forward to playing it if you're an Xbox fan or an Xbox only player? I have a cousin who's a big Xbox guy, so I'm sure he's going to be interested in taking a look at this game finally. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And moving on to our next topic of the day, it looks like we have a leaked Battlefield Battle Royale introduction. So we have here from IGN a new Battlefield leak revealed, and we're going to take a look at what that looks like. Hopefully they're probably going to take it down soon, so let's go ahead and catch a little sneak peek here. Sorry for the size, but can't do much about it. Pretty loud, and that's all we get. Just a nice little 7-second segment. Let's see if we can make this widescreen so you guys could take a look at it real quick. I'm loving the way the graphics are looking. Things are looking really cool. Yeah, very, very cool graphics, the way that things are looking for Battlefield. I've been very excited. Now, Battlefield has had quite a big leak earlier this year, so interesting that we're getting quite a bit of leaks from this. Now, I want to mind you guys that sometimes studios leak content on purpose. It's just part of the industry where they decide what info wants to be leaked, so they kind of get a little bit of press, people talking about it, and things of that sort. So this being 7 seconds and really quick, I would assume it's a leak from the studio, but who knows? It could be fans or people playtesting and stuff like that who just captured a little clip and then posted it to get some notoriety or something. But we'll have to wait and end up seeing what happens with that. But I'm very excited for this Battlefield game. It looks to be a lot of fun. I'm loving the way that the graphics are looking just with that opening cinematic. So I'm very interested in what the game is going to look like when it finally comes out. But what do you guys think? Are you excited for the Battlefield game? Does this little 7 second intro look interesting for you for their new Battle Royale match? I don't know if it's new actually, but I haven't played a lot of Battlefield 2047 since it came out. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Moving on to our next topic, I haven't seen this yet, so this is gonna be my first time watching it alongside you guys. Donkey Kong Bananza has now released its official what do they call it? Official game overview or gameplay overview. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. IGN has an article. They played about 2 hours of gameplay, so they have a very in-depth article on what they think of the gameplay and how things are looking. But also alongside this, they had not Game Informer, but IGN released a gameplay overview. So let's go ahead and take a look at this.
Golden Bananas, the discovery of the century, made right here on Ingot Isle.
And I think this is cool because I don't think we've had a Donkey Kong 3D game since the N64, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I think it's been quite some time.
That's when DK meets a talented young singer named Pauline. Now, Donkey Kong just wants bananas. And Pauline wants to find a way back home to the surface. It's said that one's wish will be granted by reaching the planet core. So the unlikely duo set off on a strange subterranean adventure.
I don't remember Pauline being a part of any Donkey Kong. Maybe she's a new character. Let me know if you guys know differently. But it's my first time hearing about it.
The deeper you go. Some layers are so spectacular that it's hard to believe you're underground.
This is looking really awesome.
Jump and climb through each environment. Using his incredible physical prowess, you can freely move.
That looks like a lot of fun, man.
Not all. Almost anything
I haven't really been into the Switch type of games as of late. I don't know what it's been. I mostly play the classic games, Yu-Gi-Oh! Even on the Switch, but this looks like fun.
Barrel through enemies, walls, and other obstacles to collect golden bananas known as Banandium gems. More on
Call of Duty, take notes. You can actually shoot and break down walls.
You
Must be
never
nice.
know what you'll discover in the underground world. So carve your own path with DK's abilities.
That looks really cool.
Now that can do something special.
Alright, this is a pretty long video, so let's skip along. Maybe we get... Oh, it looks like we're gonna get gameplay right now. Oh! Never mind, I'm happy I didn't skip ahead.
Power, even hard terrain poses no problem.
Interesting.
Plow through the world and smash as much as possible with the powerful Kong Bananza. Plus, DK can transform into a zebra. He's as speedy as he is striped. He can even breeze over water or crumbling pathways. That's the swift Zebra Bananza. Oh yeah, he can also turn into an ostrich. A flying ostrich.
Okay.
Spread your wings and soar through the sky.
He has eggs now.
You can
Oh.
use updrafts to gain more
I
air.
wonder what those eggs represent.
Then drop egg bombs from great heights.
There they
to
go,
send
they're
enemies
bombs.
Scattering. That's right.
That's pretty
it's
cool.
Ostrich Bonanza. Get creative and swap between transformations as you adventure to the planet core.
That looks cool. I'm liking this so far.
Standing in
I
our
probably got a big old
hero's
smile on my
is
face
the
watching this,
Void
so
Company,
I'm liking this.
the mightiest mining operation
I wonder if
both
Diddy Kong's
above
gonna make an
ground and
appearance.
below. And they're heading straight down to the planet core. Voidco blocked
That's
off
supposed to be a
all
bomb
routes to
banana?
lower layers, so no one could reach them.
It's pretty cool.
DK and Pauline will come face to face with the enemies guarding these routes. So use all the power at your disposal to take on a host of powerful foes. As you explore the underground world, you'll come across ancient ruins. These
Alright.
hold challenges.
I think that's enough for today as far as this video. If you guys are interested in watching the whole thing, again, I'll have it in the link in the description down below. But man, that looks like a lot of fun. I might have to just get a Switch 2 just to play this game. This game looks very entertaining and very fun. Again, I don't think I've personally played a Donkey Kong game since the N64, or at least a solo game like this. And I really can't recall him having his own solo game in any other console. And I could be wrong about that, of course, but I didn't look into it. But let me know what you guys think of this gameplay. Is it looking fun? Is it looking entertaining to you? Is this a console seller? You know how they have certain games that you have to buy the new consoles to play. This for me might be one. We'll have to wait and see, but let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Moving on to our next news topic of the day. I think we recently spoke about them having, or I think it's our last topic of the day for game news. I think we recently spoke yesterday about the massive layoffs at Microsoft. So that being said, with those layoffs, we've had some game announcements that have been canceled. And the two big ones for the cancellation are Perfect Dark and Everwild have been canceled. If you haven't heard these games, and this is a bit crazy because they announced Perfect Dark in, I think, 2024. Oh, it's right there, showcase. Yeah, they announced it in the 2024. So that means that they've had probably 3 to 4 years of development for this game and this reboot, and it has now been canceled. And Everwild, right here for this, they have an announcement trailer for a July showcase 4 years ago. So before they show the game, they probably have a year of development there, pre-production, production, however long that process is. It could be up to 2 years depending. So they probably have at least 5 to 6 years into development for Everwild. So I'm very curious as to why this game didn't release. But let's go ahead and check out the reveals that they showed us for these games, and now games we don't get to play, sadly. You know, while this plays, I'm gonna look up another game that they canceled with dragons back, I think, when the Xbox One was coming out. I forget what it's called, but go ahead and enjoy this while I look that up.
I always knew I had an instinct. I could see the world differently. I thought it would be like any other mission. I was wrong.
Welcome to Garden City, where it's a pleasant 23 degrees all day, every day.
How far to his last known location?
Local forces are also tracking his whereabouts. You need to find him before they do.
I'll have to improvise.
Yeah, this game looks really fun. I found that other game. We'll talk about it right now. But the fact that they're just canceling a game that looks phenomenal, and they were I think pretty far into development. I think the game was going to be releasing in probably into 2026 with delays as usual, so probably pushing into 2027.
Our intel places Carrington on the second floor.
On the life we think we know, out to be a lie. There's only one way forward. Find the truth.
Man, I'm kind of sad we don't get to check out and play this game now. This looks like a lot of fun. Graphics look good. Visuals look awesome. Story looks sounds interesting.
Appears to be targeting a research facility. If he attacks it, the casualties could be astronomical.
Agent Stark, it's a pleasure to meet you. I could use someone with your skills.
I had to lose everything before I could see.
Oh, that looked like a lot of fun. Hold on one second, guys. Yes? Be right down a bit. Love you, baby. It's my girlfriend, everybody. Forgive me. She didn't know I was recording right now.
What this world was really hiding.
I hope you're ready, Agent Dark.
Yeah, sad that we don't get this game anymore. And, you know, another game that they canceled was Everwild. Here's this game. Skim through this one. This one's more of like a just like a cinematic trailer. Not much going on as far as gameplay is concerned. But I believe this was the same studio that created the that pirate game, the Sea of Thieves, I think it was. Correct me if I'm wrong. Forgive me.
To seek answers.
Yeah, it looks very interesting. I know a lot of people were interested in this game, and again, it had about 6 years of development, give or take. So wild that they're just canceling a game like this. I'm very curious how far along that studio ended up taking this game. But the other game I was talking about is that Xbox is known for canceling games because they canceled another big game that they were discussing, and that was this one, Scalebound. I don't know if you recall this game. This game looked very interesting, where you get to, you know, kind of ride dragons and things of that sort. They have like announced it back in 2016. Let me go ahead and show you guys some of this one. This one looks super interesting, a lot of fun, and they just canceled it. Where is it at? I think he shows you fighting, riding dragons somewhere. Where is it at? Where's the riding dragon? Oh, here it is. Back over here. So you gotta ride a dragon, fight creatures and stuff like that. So yeah, this is the first time they cancel big games like this. But the problem is with Xbox, and there's an overarching problem with Xbox. This is the reason for their layoffs and stuff like that. Now, Microsoft as a company has been laying off people. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just their game industry, or their game subsidiaries. The problem is they have a big company, Microsoft, backing them, all the money in the world, so they can buy studios like Bethesda and all these game studios. But those studios have their own debt, have a lot of employees themselves, so they're taking on all this burden of cash flow that needs to be passed along to all these employees and all these companies. And these companies are already in development of games, so they're already far along. And now Xbox is coming in and having to decide when to release, how they're going to release, what they're going to release on, after they've been developing for so long already. And the issue is Xbox's console does not and is not selling well because they do not have great exclusive. And a lot of people are like, what are you talking about? You have Halo, you have Gears and stuff like that. Yeah, well, the last Halo game didn't do very well. Haven't had a Gears of War game in quite some time. And now any game that people were interested in as far as exclusives, like Scalebound, like I showed you, never get released. I honestly can't name an Xbox exclusive that was a console seller besides Halo. And again, we haven't had great games from them. quite some time. Halo's fallen off a bit because of 343 and is not the best studio, and they have a lot to work on when it comes to games, at least in my opinion. Again, not knocking if you like the game. It's just the reality of it. And now Xbox has announced that they're really focusing on their Game Pass because they make a lot of money off of subscription base, and kind of doing what Netflix does, where you have that constant flow of cash, even though it's not a positive in money. It's more it takes away a bit of the money, so it all varies on what they're going to do with that. And anyways, getting back to the original stuff. Now Xbox is going to put their games on PlayStation, on PC, which makes it even less of a reason to buy an Xbox console, which makes it even less of a reason to buy an Xbox game on Xbox. So PlayStation's doing well with their exclusives. Now, a lot of people are saying PS5 hasn't been the best year for exclusives, but I ask you guys, name off as many exclusives for Xbox as PlayStation's had. And if you can name more, I will be shocked. So please go ahead and go in the comments down below and let me know if you guys disagree with that. But Xbox is trying to find a way to stay relevant within the game industry, and this is not the way to do it, by canceling all these games that seem to be in very far in development. Who knows? There could be, we don't know the back end. There could be a lot of issues with the game, a lot of bugs. Maybe the game doesn't seem like a lot of fun. Maybe it could be a Concord issue, kind of how PlayStation had recently. So, it all varies on what they're going to do. But I think Xbox is currently failing in how what their approach is towards developing games. And an overarching problem in the whole game industry as a whole is these studios spend way too much money and then make changes later in the game. They'll spend thousands and millions of dollars on developing an alpha that just isn't good, and then they have to go and switch things up. And that's a problem with higher ups wanting to change decisions, make decisions on their end, saying, hey, we're going to develop this game. And then higher ups are like, well, we want to do this instead, or we would like to do this instead. That's why it's good to have someone, a creative, that's going to be along the whole process and be confident in the game you're developing and really communicate along the process. And hopefully they eventually can do that. That was a long ramble to see what Xbox is up to. But anyways, so yeah, we're going to be seeing a lot of more sad people, sad Xbox players with these cancellations of these games. But let me know what you all think in the comments down below. Are you sad to see these games go? Are you looking forward to playing them? And are you hoping that they bring them back from maybe have another studio pick them up? Let me know what you all think in the comments down below. And that does it for our game news topics of the day. We are going to be moving on to our movie news topics now. And our first movie news topic of the day is there has just been a release of a Cat in the Hat trailer. And take a look at this. Maybe they changed it up a bit. But yeah, that looks like a lot of fun. Let me know what you guys think of the Cat in the Hat trailer in the comments down below. I think it's going to be an interesting, fun little movie. But yeah, let me know what you all think about it in the comments down below. Moving on to our next topic. Christopher Nolan's epic, The Odyssey, has a trailer that was released with Jurassic World. Now, this trailer has not been released online, and just the other day they were talking about the trailer being leaked online. But I had the opportunity to watch the trailer when I watched Jurassic World Rebirth, and if I'm going to be honest with you guys, it's quite an underwhelming trailer. I think this article gives you a description, but I'm going to go ahead and just walk you guys kind of through what the trailer was. Starts off with a picture of a landscape, and you're Tom Holland speaking with John Bernthal's character. He seems to be talking about his dad being missing, and he's crying and being emotional, and it's just them talking back and forward for about, I say, 5 seconds, 6 seconds. There's a little interaction between those two characters. Tom Holland seems to be playing Odysseus, his son. They speak about Troy, and I think they have a visualization of the horse that they use to get into Troy and stuff like that. And then it just cuts to a couple sayings and a giant ocean shot, and then it zooms in on, it looks like Matt Damon's character on a raft floating on the boat, and he's kind of laying there long beard, and he looks distraught and like he's hasn't eaten in weeks. That's it. That's what the trailer was. Very underwhelming trailer, if I'm being honest with you, and I think it's now the movie's 1 year away. If I'm not mistaken, I think it comes out July in 2026. So this trailer was pointless, I guess you could say. There was no reason for it. I think advertising a year out makes no sense because a lot of the hype being built up for a movie kind of dwindles down when you have a trailer released so far away. It's nice to have something, but for a first look for the movie, I don't think it was the best first look. So I mean, I don't know. A trailer's supposed to bring your excitement for a movie up, and this kind of brought my excitement down a little bit. Not that the acting was bad, not that the visuals bad, but it just seemed very lackluster. Seemed just blah. That makes sense. But let me know what you guys think. Have you seen the Odyssey teaser trailer that they released? What did you guys think about it? Maybe my opinion different than your guys's. But yeah, let me know what you all think in the comments down below. Moving on to our next topic. So recently, Tom Holland was being interviewed by somebody, and he kind of spilt the beans that Spider-Man 4 is going into production. So we now have a window for when the production is going to start. This comes to us from superherohype.com, where they have a Spider-Man 4 production date window has set for the MCU movie. Now, if you're interested in reading this article, go ahead and take a look. But I don't think this is much big news because the movie is supposed to be coming out in 2026, so of course they're going to be going into production soon. So that just makes a lot of sense to me that they're going to be working on it and getting the ball rolling and getting things moving. Now, if you haven't heard, there's been a lot of announcements for this movie. This movie's going to have the Punisher in it. It's supposed to have Mark Ruffalo's the Hulk in it, so I'm very curious what they're going to end up doing as far as the storyline's concerned. If you don't know, Brand New Day, it's going to be called Spider-Man Brand New Day. And if I'm not mistaken, that comic line that's kind of representative of that title has a lot of Mephisto. And Mephisto was just recently introduced into the Ironheart series at the end. I haven't seen the Ironheart series. I'll probably take a look now that it's finished, but I've been hearing lackluster reviews, so let me know. Should I check it out, and let you guys know how it is? But yeah, I've been hearing a lot of things about that. So maybe we're gonna see Spider-Man team up with Hulk and Punisher, and there's gonna be a little bit of a Mephisto aspect to it. There's a lot of ways that they can go with this, but yeah. And the other thing too recently is they kind of pushed Avengers Doomsday back to a December 2026 release date. So this is now going to be coming out before Doomsday. Originally it was going to be coming out after. So the question is how interconnected they're going to be. I think it benefits Doomsday that Spider-Man 4 is going to come out, because as of right now with the MCU, there's not a lot going on as far as like lead up into Doomsday, getting the hype going. We're going to have Fantastic Four before that, so that was going to lead us into Doomsday, but I think it's good to have a movie like Spider-Man lead us into that. Maybe they can give us a little more, in depth of what to look forward to for Doomsday, as far as multiverse is concerned and stuff like that, because the last Spider-Man dealt with that. But let me know what you guys think. Are you excited that Spider-Man 4 is finally going to be going into production fairly soon, if not already? Moving on to our next topic of the day. It looks like the director of F1 is hoping to get a sequel going, and his idea is to bring Tom Cruise's character from Days of Thunder and Brad Pitt's character from F1 in a crossover sequel. I think that would be phenomenal. Tom Cruise is a phenomenal actor. He just did Mission Impossible, and Brad Pitt just did great in F1. If you're interested in hearing more about this, again, I'll have an article in the description down below. This comes to us from IndieWire. But yeah, the director was talking about how he wanted to bring the character from Days of Thunder, whether that's bringing Tom Cruise's character into F1 or bringing Brad Pitt's character back to Daytona and doing racing like that, and then kind of pitting them against each other, which I think would be great. It'll be a team up from Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt since Interview with the Vampire. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think they've made a movie together since then, so it'd be nice to see them back on screen together. They seem to be really good friends, and I think this would be super fun, super interesting. Tom Cruise recently made an appearance on the F1 premiere, surprising Brad Pitt. So I'm sure that was exciting for fans to see. So this seems to be really fun. Let's see how F1 does. At the end of the day, this is not going to happen unless F1 makes quite a bit of money at the box office. And while we have the time, why don't we go ahead and check out the box office and see where F1 is sitting at worldwide at the moment. So let me bring up the screen here. So at the moment, domestically, F1 has $72 million, and internationally it has almost 90 million, with a worldwide of 167 million. Now, mind you, it's only been out for a week now, so we still have ways to go. And F1's not very popular domestically, if I'm not mistaken. It's more of an international thing. So as it opens up in more territories, we might be seeing more box office come in. I'm thinking this movie is gonna maybe get to like the $450 million mark, give or take, at the end of its run. So I think if it gets there, I don't know what the budget was for this movie, but I think if it gets to the $450 million mark, then we should probably be looking to see a sequel. Let's see if they have reported budget for F1. Let's see. I don't think they have a budget for the F1 movie announced, but let's see if we can get some details. This is the AI feature from Google, but let's see. 145 million, maybe. No, 2023, no. So yeah, there's no there's no state budget for the you know what? Now that I think about it, I think this is F1, the F1 race, so F1 movie. Let me put that real quick. F1 movie budget. Let's see if that appears. Okay, here we go. Now this is more like it. This is still from the AI, but we're looking at 200 to 300 million dollars for the F1 movie, which is a bit ridiculous. I can't imagine a studio greenlighting something being that expensive. Let's see. Weekend, roughly 250 million. $250 million for this movie? That's crazy. So maybe I'm wrong. I don't think $450 million is going to cut it for a sequel. If it's $250 million, you're more looking at like you need like at least a $600-700 million return for that movie, because not only is it $250 million for the budget for the film, but you're also looking at another 70 some odd million for the marketing, depending on how much they put into that. And then the theaters keep about 1/3 of the box office for tickets. That varies. So yeah, not looking too well for this getting a sequel, but we'll have to wait and see what ends up happening there. And then Tom Cruise is very expensive, and he likes doing wild things, so that's gonna just up the budget to $300 million at that point. But let's see what ends up happening. I'm hoping this ends up happening. We have big stars with Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you hoping for a Days of Thunder and a F1 crossover movie? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And moving on to our last topic of the day. So we now have a director for James Bond who has been announced in Denis Villeneuve. If you do not know who that is, he's the director of Arrival. He's the director of the Dune 1 and Dune 2. He's also done oh my god, what's that movie called? Hold on, it's gonna bother me because I can't think of it. I hate it when I do that. Let's see, Denis Villeneuve. Give me, guys. I think it's The Enemies. No, it's not Enemies. Sicario. Jesus. Sicario and Prisoners. Oh, he did do a movie called Enemy. I just got it confused, but I was thinking of Sicario and Prisoners, and I think he's currently working on Dune Messiah. So after Dune Messiah, he's going to. Oh, and he also did Blade Runner 2049, which I think was a really good sequel. Not the best movie necessarily, but I think a great sequel for what it was. And yeah, currently working on Dune Messiah, and then he's going to be working after that, working on the James Bond movie. So that being said, that exciting news, we have a short list of who Amazon is wishing to be the next James Bond, and they want one of the three following actors. They're looking at Jacob. I'm gonna pronounce his last name wrong, for Elordi, Tom Holland, and Harris Dickinson. So if you don't know who Harris Dickinson and Jacob Elordi are, I'm sure you know who Tom Holland is, Spider-Man. But Jacob Elordi was he played Elvis recently in a biopic, not about Elvis, but about his wife. And also, he's in the show Euphoria. I think he dated Zendaya before Tom Holland. And Harris Dickinson was recently in the movie with Nicole Kidman, Good Boy, I think it was. And he was also starred in The King's Man with Ray Fiennes. So, great actors. The Amazon studio seems to want a younger actor looking more towards the mid 20s or mid to late 20s. They don't want to go 30s or above. So sadly, that kind of knocks out Henry Cavill, who I was hoping would come in as James Bond because you don't know this, before Daniel Craig was James Bond, it was between Daniel Craig and said his name. Why can't I say his name again? Clark Kent. Why can't I say his name? Oh my god, I just said it. I hate it when I do this. See, guys, we all make mistakes sometimes. Henry Cavill, Jesus. So yeah, it was between Henry Cavill and Daniel Craig, and Daniel Craig ended up getting the role, and we didn't get to see Henry Cavill as James Bond. A lot of people were talking about, uh, damn it, Aaron Taylor Johnson coming in as James Bond. If you don't know who that is, he was Craven the Hunter. He was just in 28 Years Later. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Are you excited to see one of these three guys take over the James Bond role? Are you hoping to maybe get casting of an actor you didn't think of? Do you have a specific casting? I would like, like a Idris Elba, of course, Henry Cavill to come in, but of course they want him to go younger, and I can't think of an actor right now. I think Tom Holland looks a little too young for the role, if that makes sense. His height doesn't matter. A lot of people are going to talk about his height, but Tom Cruise is, I think, shorter than him, if not the same height as him. And we see him in the Mission Impossible movies. I'm sure Tom Holland could do in great shape as Spider-Man and such. But I just think he looks too kiddish for a James Bond, unless the story is going to be like a younger James Bond coming from his naval background into MI6, but we'll see what ends up happening there. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Are you excited that James Bond is going to be directed by Denis Villeneuve, and are you hoping that one of these three gets cast? If not, who are you hoping is cast in the role? Yeah, and that does it for today's episode of the Truly Odd podcast, guys. So thank you so much for joining me. If you like the episode, please like and subscribe. And remember always, guys, stay true, be odd.